nga kigambibwa nti beetabye mu kwokya ekifo ky'abasiraamu abatabulike nga beesasuza ku Sheikh Abdulrashid Kalinge eyali akulira ekifo kino. Kyokka bo abatuuze bagamba nti ekifo kino kibaddemu obumenyi bw'amateeka bungi era ng'abaana baabwe babadde batwalibwayo nga tebeeyagalidde. Waliwo n'abatabulike poliisi beekutte.
Ku lunaku lwa bbalaza ekibinja ky'abavubuka abatannategerekeka balumbye ekifo ky'abasiraamu ki Salafiya Muslim Sekiti ekibadde kikulemberwa Sheikh Abdulrashid Kalinge ne bakiteekera omuliro lw'ensonga ezitannategerekeka.
Abantu we bava wano ati bali kujja kusoma, kumbe be bali kujja okusoma kibiri kutegerekeka bamala baabulirayo mpeka n'ojja okuwulira ati gundi yabula.
Kigambibwa nti abantu mu kitundu kino baludde nga beemulugunya ku baana baabwe abatwalibwa ne bayingira ekibinja kino bo kye bagamba nti kyabamenyi b'amateeka.
Ntegano lwali lwaduuzi omukazi yava mu nkambi muno nga mulwaire yaje waabwe yakuba ati bananze kiri kujja kwirayo mu nkambi ere.
Abantu bano tubaire nga tulinabo nga tuwooza nti kati abantu baki balungi mu kitundu aye twagiira okujja okwewuunya nga babaire bantu bayisi.
Abatuuze okutuuka okwokya obuyumba buno poliisi egamba nti abantu babadde baagala kununula baana baabwe era nga mu kulwanagana mwe mwavudde abantu bano okutwalira amateeka mu ngalo.
Abatuuze ne balumba ekifo kino okusobola okuggyayo abaana bampaka ne bakikumako omuliro.
Poliisi yayitiddwa mangu okutaasa embeera eyabadde yonoonese era okukakana nga bataano bakwatiddwa bagiyambeko mu kunoonyereza kwayo.
Abamu nga balina amajambiya bakwese munda mu ngoye zaabwe. Omu ku bataano olwedde aliko ekibaluwa kye bakuntumye okuva mu kkooti enkulu ku misango gy'obutemu.
Wabula omwogezi wa poliisi mu Kampala Judith Nabakoba avumiridde ekyokutwalira amateeka mu ngalo ekyatuusizza n'okwokya ekifo ky'abatabuliiki kino era n'ategeeza nti waliwo abantu bana abakwatiddwa ku nsonga eno.
Kyaleetedde poliisi kuyitibwa n'etuuka mu kifo ekyo n'esobola okukwata abantu bana abateeberezebwa okuba nti babadde beenyize mu buvuyo obwo oba beenyigidde mu buvuyo obwo. Abantu abo bana abakwatiddwa bagenda kuvunaanibwa emisango egy'okutiisatiisa ate era n'okwonoona ebintu mu kitundu.
Kigambibwa nti Sheikh Abdulrashid Kalinge yali akulembera enkambi eno yali yadduka dda ku kyalo kino okumala emyaka 3 egiyise n'aleka abaana n'omukyala emabega nga be baavuddeko embeera eno okutabuka nga baagala okubatwala. Ebyo nga bikyali bityo poliisi eriko enkyukakyuka zeekoze mu basirikale baayo abaweereddwa obuvunaanyizibwa obulala. Mu bakyusiddwa mulimu Nomani Musinga nga kati yagenda okulembera ebikwekweto mu poliisi y'ebidduka. Katala Tambi abadde akulira Flying Squad atwaliddwa okulembera SIU ekireka ate ye abadde akulira SIU ekireka kiri mu Biata atwaliddwa okulira ekitongole ky'abakyala ekigguddwawo mu poliisi. Dini Lubowa Sava, NTV Akawungezi.
NTV Akawungezi tukyagenda mu maaso eddakiika ziri 21 eziyise ku ssaawa emu. Katuwummulemu katono ddala tobaawo. Katikkiro ayogedde bwe mmaliriza amasiro nzizaako Bulange Plaza asiimye abawaddeyo ettaffaali ate Jinja abavubuka batutte ba kansala Ntyagirwa ttaka basaaye ebikajjo.
First time we are musically speaking to celebrate, discover and inspire.
Welcome to Jazz with Isaiah. A musical venture that is entertaining, educative, informative, and inspiring. Let's join Isaiah as we celebrate, we discover, and we encourage talent. And
We're gonna have a good time. I want you to be part of that process.
NTV Akawungezi. Mu mawulire amalala ssente obukadde obusobyeko mu 10 ze zikunganyiziddwa olwaleero Katikkiro Charles Peter Mayiga bw'abadde atikkula abantu n'amakampuni ag'enjawulo ettaffaali ku Bulange e Mengo. Katikkiro agambye nti amasiro nga gawedde waliwo enteekateeka ey'okuzimba Bulange Plaza emaze emyaka n'ebisiibo ng'eri awo kyangaala.
Mu kaweefube w'okusonda ettoffaali Katikkiro gwaliko nate nkya ya leero abantu ab'enjawulo bagenze mu maaso n'okukwasa Katikkiro ettoffaali wano mu Bulange Mengo. Mu baleese ettoffaali mubaddemu ebika eby'enjawulo omubadde eky'empeewo, eky'omutima, enkusu n'ebika ebirala nkuyanja. Amasomero, kampuni ko n'abantu ssekinnoomu nabo banjudde ettoffaali lyabwe. Era muno mwe mubadde n'ab'ekibiina ekizannyo omweso omuganda wano e Nakasero abalaze Katikkiro engeri gye bagwesaamu. Ng'oggyeko ensimbi enkalu, ebintu bingi eby'enjawulo ebiweereddwayo nga muno mubaddemu ensawo za seminti eziweredde ddala 258 n'amataala ganaateekebwa mu masiro nga buli limu libalirirwamu obukadde 3.5.
Era ne okuwangaala okw'amaanyi tugiwa garanti etasukka wansi wa myaka 50.
Obukadde obuweerera ddala 102 n'omusobyo bwe bukuŋŋaanyiziddwa olwaleero. Katikkiro yeebazizza nnyo Obuganda era n'ategeeza nti emirimu egimu mu masiro ginaatera okuggwa.
Bugwa awedde. Mu butuufu bino bye tuliko kati ku bbugwe bya maridaadi, kusibako mataala, kuwundako muli biki, naye bbugwe yaggwa dda.
Wabula ategeezezza nti waliwo ebintu ebirala ebitanaggwa nga kati byagenda okwolekeza obwanga.
Kubanga mumanyi tubale tuyimba ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyavadde, ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyavadde. Ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyavadde kyekyo. Mu birabo ebitiibwa ebyava edda, laba ekitiibwa ekyava edda mukiraba. Bano abagenyi abajja wano babasunga.
Asiminye abaana ab'obuwala okujjumbiranga ennyo enkola za Buganda. Peter Muwes, NTV Akawungezi.
NTV Akawungezi. Abavubuka abakambwe ku kyalo Mpumudde mu munisipaali y'e Jinja bambalidde bakansala baabwe ababadde bazze okulambula ettaka lye bagamba eryezzibwa abavubuka. Kyokka kibabuuseeko abavubuka bano babadde bambalidde emigobante bwe babagobye nga n'abamu bagobeddwa.
Bakansala mu munisipaali y'e Jinja abadde bakyaddeko ku kyalo Mpumudde enviri zibavudde ku mutwe abavubuka ababadde tebasalikako musale nga bakulembeddwamu ssentebe waabwe wa LC eyokusatu bwe bambalidde ne babatwala entyagi. Kalumanywera avudde ku ttaka abavubuka lye bagamba nti bakansala tebamaze kubeebuuzaako nga bajja okulirambula so nga bakansala bagamba nti ettaka lino abavubuka baaliza mu bukyamu.
Buli kiseera tubasaba itaka, twalina itaka twajja mu kanso twasaba emyaka twakubuzaabuza itaka baaliryawo omuzeeyi mwene oyo
babasaba itaka abavubuka bendokadakwekin mwaloba ngaibi
muzibiki
bano batali
Bakansala era balaze obwennyamivu mu bakulembeze b'ekitundu kino olw'okuwagira abavubuka abatwalira amateeka mu ngalo.
Municipal Council ye planningira ekibuga kye Jinja. Kakati council wa yesitula negamba nti kangende ndabe bana bali kuteekawo structures ezitali na plant etakasiri planning netaka lye bali kulyagunyaga lya council.
Era Jinja abalimi b'ebikajjo bakubidde gavumenti omulanga okubayamba ku bantu abeevumbulidde okwokya ennimiro zaabwe ez'ebikajjo. Omuze ogw'okwokya ebikajjo gwongedde nnyo mu bitundu bino wabula nga abakola ekikolwa kino tebannamanyika.
Ebyokuyampa kisinziira ku buzibu bw'abantu bano abali mu n'olwisi baba benda bookye bafune ssente. N'abandi mwabamu olwisi ng'omuntu wa fiitina ayenda ayokyere mwina aleke kufuna mu kyamakulu.
Abazimya moto bagezaako okutuukiriza obwabwe kyokka bagamba kikyali kizibu olw'okuba nga tebamanya wa wakutte ate nga n'omuliro ogudduka ku sipiidi ya kizungirizi.
Si yaba accident omuntu ayinza okuba kuno oba kasigalaako yasuula akantu ako yadema ategeera nti oba kayinza ovaako obuzibwe mu endi byakula by'ebikadde by'omuntu byaba nti bigemye ki omuliro.
Abalimi bagamba nti kino kigenda kwonoona omutindo gwa sukaali akolwa singa tewabaawo kikoleddwa mu bwangu kutaasa mbeera.
Mizannyo olwaleero ttiimu y'eggwanga the Uganda Cranes yakudda mu nsiike mu mwezi ogwokutaano ng'ezannya mu mpaka ezisooka ez'okusunsula mu ttiimu ezineetaba mu kikopo kya Africa mu 2015. Mu nteekateeka ez'okulaba nga ttiimu eno ekola bulungi, kampuni ya insure aba National Insurance Corporation bawadde insure ya bukadde 660 okuyamba abazannyi okujjanjabwa bwe banaaba bafunye obuvune.
Wadde nga ttiimu ya Uganda Cranes tebannamanya ggwanga lye bagenda kutandika nalyo mu mpaka ezisooka ez'okusunsula mu ttiimu ezineetaba mu kikopo kya Africa z'enteekateeka ez'okulaba nga Uganda ekola bulungi mu mpaka zino zitandise. Aba National Insurance Corporation bwe basoose okwenyigira mu nteekateeka zino bwe balangiridde obukadde obusukka mu 600 ezinayamba singa wanaabawo omuzannyi yenna afuna obuvune ng'ali ku mirimu gya ttiimu y'eggwanga.
Ensimbi zino ziba zitusobozesa okuba nga abantu bano bajjanjabibwa bulungi ne basamba. Mu mupiira munsi omupiira gye gukulaakulanye kino kyetaagibwa kiri mandatory nti kirina kubaawo kubanga kyekyokka kyokka ekisobola okuwa omusambi nakwongera ku eri omupiira kiri nti abasambi baffe bajja kuba bavumu naddala nga banganga abalabe be tuba tusamba nabo okubanga tusobola okufuna results ezisanyusa Abannayuganda.
Omusambi bw'aba ali mu training talina kutya, talina kweraliikirira tinyiza okufuna obuvune ate nenvaamu mu ttiimu. N'olwekyo aba amanyi nti bw'afuna obuvune abaniki gye bali bajja kunzijanjaba, teri kweraliikirira nti oba tetulina ssente.
Omupiira ogwasemba Uganda yawangulwa Zambia golo 2-1 mu mupiira ogwali ogw'okwegezaamu e Zambia. Singa Uganda eyitawo ku mupiira gwegenda okusamba mu mwezi ogwokutaano awo yakuteekebwa mu kibinja n'ezimu ku ttiimu ezayisibwawo nga tezisambye olw'ebyafaayo byazo mu mpaka za Africa. Sam Mpoza, NTV akawungeezi.
Olwaleero mu kibuga Kampala we tusinzira okuweereza akasana akaase naye nga tekabadde kabbugumu nnyo ng'ennaku ziri eziyise emabega. Ebadde NTV akawungeezi mwebale nnyo gye twavudde okuvaera ddala ku ssaawa emu eddakiika ebula 5 okuwera essaawa emu eddakiika ziri 35 eziyise ku ssaawa emu. Musule bulungi, nze Farida mweraba.
NTV, turning on your world.
Program Guide. today's highlight with
New geisha with extracts from Mother Nature.
You just came in here and offended my employee, Mrs. Guerra. For what? I think you're a cheater. You're playing dirty with me. What do you want?
Did you go see Veronica Dantas? Answer me. What am I to you, Alejandro? Huh? A mistake? Or a consolation prize?
Patricia, please take it easy.
You answer me!
My mom always wants what's best for us. That's why she uses new geisha with extracts from nature. New geisha with extracts from Mother Nature.
And the change of government won't stop a thing. I've run out of fingers counting the number of multinationals sitting up here. What about the 3 companies that announced their plans to launch last week? I say they're shopping. Me, I'd be looking to sell. At what price? More. Much, much more. I don't know who you are or how you know these things, but one thing I'm sure of, you're in the wrong job. Here, call me tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to hear more from you.
Are you ready for your big break? The East African, understanding the region.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
We promised you that would give you a great breakfast morning television, and today we're doing exactly that. I am here at the golf course at Chitante Road, stuck in traffic, probably about to be one of the traffic officers. But we are so excited that we are bringing this to you, not just recording it, but it's live, ladies and gentlemen. 3 amazing locations at the golf course of Chitante. You can see the shot over there, and at the rooftop of the Serena Hotel is Joel and Rionga standing by, and of course at our NTV studios at the International Conference Center is Mabel Kebirunji. This is going to be awesome. Today we'll be getting into the world of the sport that men that dress in a dapper way, like my friend Peter would say, what they take on, and that is golf. But before we get started, let's take a look at the question of the day. Good morning. There you go. Now today's question of the day is, which is the largest lake in South America? That is, which is the largest lake in South America? Now today, if you answer that question, of course the first 5 respondents will each walk away with something for Morning at NTV, and that is SMS 6565, and of course you can Facebook us Morning at NTV. Alternatively, go to Twitter, use our Twitter handle at Morning at NTV. Good luck, and I want to remind you that today it's not just the traffic here, it's live at the golf course at Chitante. Right here, you can see the green, and I'm getting ready to get into my golf attire. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Let's head to the NTV studios at the International Conference Center with Mabel, with the stories that are making headlines. Good morning.
I am also looking forward to getting into my golf attire this Wednesday morning. A very good morning to you watching us live on air, online. Thank you and welcome to the show. In the news today,
You're watching Morning at NTV.
A group of prominent Ugandan scholars, lawmakers and gay rights activists have dragged the court to the Constitutional Court over the enactment of the anti-homosexuality law. As Solomon Serwanja reports, the group contends that the law violates key human rights provisions enshrined in the Constitution.
It's barely a month since President Yoweri Museveni passed the Anti-Homosexuality Act, and already a group of public figures have filed a suit challenging the constitutionality of the law. Key among the petitioners is the former leader of opposition in Parliament, Professor Ogenga Latigo, Makerere University law don, Professor Oloko Onyango, seasoned journalist Andrew Mwenda, West Budama MP Fox Odoi, and a gay rights activist, Pepe Onzima. The team was represented by prominent human rights lawyer Nicholas Opio and Ladislas Rakafuzi. They argue that the Anti-Homosexuality Act was passed without quorum, which is unconstitutional. The petitioners also contend that the criminalization of same-sex among consenting adults contravenes the right to equality before the law. They add that it violates people's rights to privacy and promotes discrimination. The petition also challenges Section 2 of the Act, which imposes a life sentence for persons convicted of aggravated homosexuality. They say that the punishment is disproportionate to the offense.
There's only one thing I fear: living in a society that has no room for minorities. I don't want to live in that society.
West Budama MP Fox Odoi, who has consistently criticized the law, says he's ready to lose his political seat for the sake of fighting for justice for sexual minorities.
So I'm not worried. I would rather lose the seat for West Budama North. I was not trained to be a politician. I'm a goddamn good advocate. I will still earn a living.
Professor Ogenga Latigo, in his part, dwelt on the report of the medical team, which presented its findings to President Museveni about the scientific basis of homosexuality.
It's an absolute lie, even to the extent of some people claiming that homosexuality is not genetic. It is the height of scientific madness. Because if you are living, whether you are an insect or a human being, you are what you are because of the genes.
The petition has also filed a permanent injunction against the media, restraining them from printing or broadcasting names of suspected gay or lesbian people.
In tabloids like the Red Pepper, for a whole week, actually 10 days, they were just publishing faces, people's residences, and this put most of us at more risk.
Court is yet to set a date for hearing the petition.
Yes.
The anti-homosexuality bill was passed last month amidst heated debate in Parliament, with a section of legislators arguing that the bill was passed without quorum. The sentiment was also raised by President Museveni later on, when pressured by religious leaders to pass the bill. The president, however, made a U-turn on 24th of February and signed the bill into law, attracting praises from a multitude of Ugandans. Solomon Serwanja, NTV.
The Central Executive Committee of the NRM has chosen the new NRM parliamentary commissioners to work with the Speaker of Parliament. The meeting was chaired by the party chairman, President Museveni, at State House. Maurice Ochol brings us the story from the ruling party, including resolutions to diffuse the confusion within.
Of speculation, the Central Executive Committee put all rumors to a halt today and revealed the new NRM party commissioners. They are Rosemary Seninde, the woman MP for Wakiso District, William Nokorachu, who represents people with disability from northern Uganda, and Rosa Cole, the woman MP for Bukedia District. These are chosen basing on performance and background. Meanwhile, the NRM caucus has resolved that all members of parliament go to their constituencies and set up meetings. This was at a meeting chaired by President Yoweri Museveni last evening. The MPs, however, were not camera-friendly today, and efforts to get comments were futile. The president is said to have made known his displeasure at the fact that some members were leaking party information to the media. Only the vice chairman of the caucus dared to speak to us, and even then, it was to state that the meeting was a closed one.
It was a closed meeting, so I have no comment on what was discussed inside.
Sources that agreed to speak to us only if the cameras were off. The core message of yesterday's resolution was to diffuse information that has been disrupting the party's performance and creating divisions at the top. The caucus resolved that all the party MPs be given money to carry out desensitization in their respective constituencies starting the 20th of March. The caucus also discussed matters to do with members of the president's family taking up positions within government. It was resolved that the president's family is just like any other and that they can therefore take up any public office and political job. The Prime Minister is said to have been silent all through the meeting. Sources, however, say Henry Banyenzachi, an MP and also minister, brought to the president's notice that Hope Mwesige, the Prime Minister's in-law, was still carrying out groundwork, garnering support from Mbabazi to stand for president in 2016. Maurice Ochol, NTV.
Plans are in the offing to bring forth a bill advocating for the extension of terms of office. The Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee are behind this proposal, which could see all persons holding political office stay on for an unspecified period.
There are some members, a few members on the Committee of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs who have the task of doing some clandestine work on seeing on how best we can bring a bill to effect this extension.
Then a Chiefma County Member of Parliament, Sechitole Kokafero, is one of the supporters of the extension. His argument is that the government has a full plate just now, with meager funds to run all the projects before it. He cites next year's census and the ongoing biometric registration, all of which need funding.
Where are you going to get the 290 billion, which is Engineer Badru Chigundu's budget for a national election, within this very short period, after conducting the two exercises, in a situation where our development partners, like Sweden, Norway, and others, have already withdrawn part of their financial support to Uganda?
In its budget, the Electoral Commission has requested a staggering 290 billion shillings to carry out a successful electoral exercise. Without the assurance of donor funding moving forward, there are fears that the billions required may not be available.
The previous elections, general elections, Uganda had a financial crisis because we used too much of the money from our government coffers. I do not want such a crisis to come back.
Dates have not been set for when this idea will be tabled, but a draft is being drawn at the moment. Still, some legislators, especially those in the ruling party, are excited about it.
It will be a good idea, for example, because in anyway, 5-year term, sometimes you find you've started work and you've not yet moved a lot, and you are still getting acquainted with the laws, and you're still studying, and then they tell you to go.
Extension is not a problem, but what is important is people exercising their powers in choosing their leaders in a free and fair election process.
Members of Parliament from the opposition, however, are not as receptive.
So we don't need to extend it. I think let's subject ourselves to another election. If we succeed, those who succeed come back, and those who don't succeed go and do something else.
Government should find money. Government should stop all loopholes where money is stolen, so that we can go for elections in 2016. And the government should accept.
Very interesting there. Well, today we now return to our third location, which is the Kampala Serena Hotel rooftop, to the press review with Morris and Joel.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to the press review. Joel Senyonyi is my name, and as you might have noticed already, we are broadcasting from many vantage points right here at the Kampala Serena rooftop. Of course, Brian at the golf course, and Mabel down at the conference center. Joining me this morning is a man that needs no introduction, Morris Mugisha. Good to have you here this morning.
Well, you finally dragged me on the set this morning. It is a lovely morning, and we were blessed with the rains.
Oh yes, oh yes. We thought it would bother us a little bit, but not at all. We are good to go.
Well, this show continues to shock us. Even when it rains, you continue to stay on air. It doesn't matter how it pours. This show continues to do the thing, yeah.
All right, we get to discover what is in the papers this morning.
Yes.
Daily Monitor, the Observer, and then this paper that is red, the red paper. Beginning with the Daily Monitor, a big headline here, MPs take Museveni 2016 bid to villages. Now, as you already know by now, I'm sure, they were in another caucus meeting on Monday, and a couple of things did come out. They feel we need to push this thing. And there's people that feel, wait a minute, NRM seems to be in panic here, and they feel Mbabazi is such a big threat. Do you think he's actually such a big threat?
Well, you Simon, and Brian have actually hammered this thing, and you've been at it for the last few days, I know, since the story.
Nearly the top story in
all the other dailies.
Mm.
Since the story broke, actually, that initially we had heard the Mama Mbabazi would face the disciplinary committee. That, of course, the president did come out and explain. But yes, the caucus meeting on Monday did sit, and amongst the resolution they had, I'm told they have a manual. We will probably discuss that in the Observer. That there's a manual they actually handed over to the chief whip that includes mobilization, that includes rallying support for the NRM party, and also explaining some of the key issues that have been in the media. So you will see members of parliament go to their constituencies and explain what's been happening in the last few weeks. Of course, down water, what the press has heard on Mbabazi's, either Mbabazi's claim to want to be president, or his wife trying to campaign for him, or even if it was just hearsay to try and explain to the electorate, or even their people in the party, because the party NRM does claim to have a majority of the voters in this country. So to explain to them that, wait a minute, this is what has happened in the party, here's the way forward, and we actually don't think the Prime Minister is the problem, but here are the concerns. And however, you know that the meeting also on Monday had former candidates, members of the NRM party who had lost during the primaries. That also was to explain to them the electoral process going forward, because they want to review their own electoral process. So I think they want to also explain to their people in the constituencies how they will be electing their next leaders in the future, and how they can actually change the electoral process to avoid the clashes we had in their primaries, and also in the elections that have had, the recent by-elections they've had.
A hardball game, if you ask me, but there you have it. Still talking politics now. Of course, Makerere is just about to elect their guild leaders, and we're told forgeries mar Makerere guild polls. Now, the students who are beginning to slowly but surely master the art of forging academic transcripts, you know, their records, because they've got to have a certain credit. And this worries me, because if students can do this, I'm thinking, we get to hear these stories a lot in Parliament as people, you know, try to get their way to Parliament, and hopefully this gets nipped in the bud. An interesting picture here. I don't know if you can get a look at it. Man demonstrates the huge responsibility
that is
women carry daily. Yes, it is. Oftentimes you see women doing this, but for a man to do that...
We see this a lot in northern Uganda, especially northern and eastern Uganda, where women actually do ride bicycles with a basket on their head, and probably even children on their a child on their back. It's the real African woman.
That's a region that is having men accused a great deal of drinking themselves silly. They get into drunken stupors early morning. Women go out to work and they bring in the money, and then the men are thinking, okay, now bring the money, I decide what gets to be done.
Unfortunately, that is what happens, especially in the rural setup of our societies. I've seen that even when I've traversed all the way to Kabale. You know, you're driving at 6 a.m. and the men are, you know, crossing their arms on the road and talking about Arsenal and Manchester the previous night, the game that they watched, or the Champions League game, and the wife has probably picked the kids with some little leftovers from dinner last night to actually go to the gardens, and that will be breakfast to fend for the family. So they will wait for her to return, and then they'll pick the little money she's probably met and go back to the bar.
So women are actually emancipated after all. They know what to do. They get out there and make things happen. Of course, it's unfortunate when a man folds their hands and waits for the woman to put food on the table. That's unfortunate. We need to ship up or shape out. And I was talking to a couple of men the other day who were apparently want to stand for some positions. And I told them, you men, you see, if your leadership fails at home, not export it elsewhere. So men, you need to be the good leaders you expect it to be.
Maybe the wives need to tell us that, wait a minute, my husband has failed at home. I doubt he can help my constituency or he can even be a good minister.
I think
they should help us.
So we get to know who is a good leader and who is not.
Yes.
All right, the opposition is appealing to the judiciary, sitting in the Daily Monitor, to stay firm, Many times they feel the opposition is, the judiciary is being muzzled by the powers that be. But a little bit tricky, because there's people that feel, wait a minute, when the judiciary comes out and says, okay, now the NRM was wrong, say, you know, it could be a by-election, and then they say the NRM was wrong, the opposition says, good way to go. When the opposition is hammered real bad, they say, now there was, you know, infiltration here and there, and there seems to be a ping-pong here and there. When it is for me, good. When they roll against me, I'm thinking, these guys are not very good after all.
It is the norm here, and it's not just with the judiciary. It's across the board. It's in the media, and we've seen that, especially when one particular media house does a very good story, objective story on the opposition, and maybe attacks the ruling government and says, listen, things have to change, we need to reinstate term limits, the president has to retire, you know, stuff like that. Then the opposition wakes up and says, well, that newspaper did a fantastic job, that media house did a fantastic job, you're on the money, yeah? But when you actually then attack the opposition and say, listen, you're not democratic as you actually turn out to be, you're not organized as an opposition, and you're actually very weak to fight the ruling party. And then they say, wait a minute, they've been voted by the ruling party. That's why they're actually speaking for the government. So you get to see this play out even in the judiciary. When the ruling has been made for them, then they say this is a perfect judiciary and this was a perfect bench of judges. When the ruling goes against them, of course, looking at the most recent case, not about the opposition but the rebel MPs, then you look at the rebel MPs in the previous court ruling of the Constitutional Court, where they said, you know, that was unfortunate and we doubt the bench, you know, of judges on the Constitutional Court.
Now
and then they go to the Supreme Court and they say, stay the decision. They say, now here is the right place to be. The Supreme Court, the final court in this country, final court of appeal, and the only court that can make the final decision has actually given us, you know, some leeway. But this is actually probably the right bench. So you doubt the credentials of those saying these things, but also you want to understand that we are in a society that sometimes is unpredictable, and they'll say things that
we are bitter losers, as it were,
that they may never want to hear. Yeah.
Another grotesque story here. Minister admits to irregularities in the public service payroll. Now, briefly here, it is quoted to say some women were scrapped off the government payroll by officials in the Ministry of Public Service. Why? For denying officials sexual favors. Parliament had yesterday. This is from the State Minister for Public Service, Honorable Sezi Mbaguta. And you know, this cuts across in the government, in the private sector. We see women not being treated fairly, and I know, of course, even some young men, you know, have to endure this to get jobs, to make their way up there. Yes. Very unfortunate.
But also, I also thought that that has actually been also the cause for the delayed payments for some of the civil servants, especially the teachers and the medical staff, who've gone without pay for about 3 months now. I think they were last paid in December. For me, I think it's a concern. Initially, it was an issue to remove or clean up the register and the payroll, remove the ghosts from there.
Is that system they're trying to introduce?
Yeah, the integrated system. But it's actually probably not working. And you can tell that they may have to take some time, much time, to actually clean up this whole exercise, clean up the payroll, to actually have the right people on this payroll. But it might take some time, because as you heard yesterday, the other day from the teacher, the Secretary General of UNATU, they have concerns that even now those who are not ghosts are being affected with the payroll system. So I think the payroll needs to be cleaned up immediately, but also tackle some of these issues that keep coming up.
Of course, they did announce yesterday that by the end of this month they will have gotten their pay with all the arrears, and some of us were thinking, wait a minute, this is preposterous. Is that supposed to be good news to these people? You're telling them they've not been paid and you're saying you'll pay them at the end of this month. Very unfortunate. What are some of the happenings in the Observer?
Well, very quickly, the headline in the Observer says MPs move to stop Mama Mbabazi, again related to the story in the Monitor and the Red Pepper, when we will turn to the Red Pepper. But that story is actually on page 4, where they said the MPs moved to stop Mama, and they say after a lengthy meeting on Monday, the NRM caucus in Parliament hammered out strategies to sell their Chankwanzi resolution to check the influence of the Secretary General. Well, it goes on and then draws up the manual. However, I need to just read this part where they say, to counter the charge that the President's family is in charge of the country, the Information Minister's manual, which was handed over to the Information Minister and the Chief Whip, directs the MPs to explain to the electorate that the First Lady was appointed Karamoja Minister after being elected MP for Ruhama County. That's one of the issues in the manual. The manual also explains that General Salim Saleh, President Museveni's younger brother, enjoys the perks that come with being a senior presidential advisor. And also, it is said here that they have to explain and also tell the electorate that, by the way, that same brother of the President, General Saleh, is actually a very celebrated businessman who's done very well in the business industry, and that explains his wealth. So it's part of
when you have to do a lot of explanations, you're thinking, all right, you know, The guilty run before they are chased. I hope that is not what is playing out there.
What they're doing as a party is they're raising some of the key issues that have been raised. And the top on the agenda is to check the powers of the Secretary General and explain that the Secretary General is still the Secretary General. However, he's a little busy. We've appointed someone else to do mobilization, and you may see him in the coming days here to explain to you what's happening in the party. But also, there are some concerns you had raised. The issue that the First Lady is appointed minister, the issue of General Salim Saleh and why he's actually rich and probably what his influence in government, and so on. They actually have a lot to explain to the people, and they explain in the manual. Just quickly again, moving on in the Observer, you have police backs off Mbabazi youth. This was a story we carried yesterday on NTV Tonight, and this was after a string of arrests of the youth that held a press conference claiming that they were collecting signatures in support of the Prime Minister. Again, the police says in their own words that the youth were actually extorting money from these people.
That's what we did here.
Yeah, they claim that they were actually registering as supporters. Again, in a nice note, Ugandans get Women Organization Awards, which is, again, as we were speaking about women emancipation here, which is a very good thing.
The women are rising up. There's an interesting quote here by the leader of opposition, a comment on the so-called NRM airplane. This gentleman said, many people in this plane are sleeping, and the reason why we are talking to them is to we want to ensure that they wake up and take a decision to leave it.
Interesting.
Feels it is a sinking ship here. There's something I've seen here in the farmer pullout. An interesting comment to hear that
and the rains have come, so you can actually talk about farming and agriculture.
Sure. This gentleman says that you win with farming than sports betting. Ouch.
And I agree. I totally agree.
It concerns me that you see very many young people out there trying to make a living apparently by betting their little money. And then they keep going. You know, it's addictive. You go there today, win 2,000, you're thinking, one of these good days I'll hit this jackpot of 20 million or whatever the case might be. But you know, research does indicate that 90% of people that hit jackpots become a lot worse in under a year. A lot worse
because they probably spend the same money that they actually earned back into the same.
Because you see, when you just fall in things as it were, you don't know how to frugally operate and so on and
I totally hear
what
you.
have you. The red pepper, quickly, what's happening there, Mo?
Now, let's turn to the red pepper. And interestingly, the headline remains Mr. India. And I did say Mr. India because that's the name, famous name in the security and intelligence quarters. It says Museveni MPs clash over Mbabazi. Furious president threatens to beat female MP. This is interesting. I need to move there very quickly because it says President Yoweri Museveni lost his cool during the Monday NRM caucus meeting and told off the Chankwanzi woman MP Anna Maria Nankabira, and says this was after combative Nankabira and other MPs rejected his view that Prime Minister Mama Mbabazi was a settled matter and there was no need to discuss it further. So you still see even on Monday when they were supposed to discuss something else, the issue of the Prime Minister came up and the President was extremely
and it's not about to come to a halt. I think this is going to keep playing out again and again. You know, we wait to see how this pans out.
Interesting.
In the sports section of the Monitor this morning, the return of Kinky Prop. This guy was under wraps for a while, a little bit beaten, but he's coming up to say, you know what, I've done this before. I can't do it again. The other day we saw Golola coming up again, you know, after
doing very well.
Beaten real bad, and I was telling people here yesterday, I actually thought Mugula was going to take Golola back to school and teach him how this thing is done, but it's interesting to see that people get beaten, but they rise up again and say, look, I've been beaten real bad, but I can't rise again. The story many Ugandans need to
be told and associate with. I actually thought he's the right example. Yesterday, Maxley did write a very nice piece on him and explaining how Golola has built this one-man image. He's the one-man advertiser. He has one-liners that no one can beat.
Apparently can tear pages out of Facebook, now climb Mountain Dew. This guy sounds ridiculous.
I think his story resonates with a lot of people, that you can actually be beaten and to the floor and you rise up and actually achieve your dreams. It's a story that we all need to associate with, and I'm glad you raised that. But again, I wanted to say something here in the red paper related to the fact that you had a few Ugandans yesterday go to court over the Anti-Homosexuality Act.
Yes.
Now you have 300 FDC supporters who have defected over the homo law. This is in the red paper. So
because they feel, yes, the president has done us good. I'll tell you, there's many people that feel the president signing or assenting to this bill was a demagogic move,
Yes.
trying to bring people on board. But there are those that feel, irrespective of what the case might be, we have made a statement, we are saying no to homosexuality. And out there, you know, it's a case of agreeing to disagree, because there's those that feel, wait a minute, these guys are the minority, we need to avail space for them and that kind of thing. But look, this law is not in any way saying we're going to hound these guys out, go to their hotel rooms and look out for what they're doing. Especially the issue of propagating this quote-unquote gospel of homosexuality.
Yes.
Something I feel we needed to curtail as soon as yesterday.
All right, I needed also to ask you, and it's not come in the papers, I'm shocked. There's a list of journalists that came out yesterday that are allied to Mbabazi. I hope you saw that on social media. I was shocked you're not on that list.
Well, I have been hounding the man here like a problem. I honestly don't think Mbabazi stands a chance. Not because I have anything against him as an individual, just critical analysis, you know. Because you see, the NRM as it is President Museveni, whether we like it or not. Yeah, so nobody does pose any challenge, be it Mbabazi, be it Captain
Maguru or Gilbert Bukenya.
Gilbert Bukenya, all these will make their noise, but at the end of the day, if you want to outwit this gentleman, not within the NRM. It is hard enough, you know, when you're out in the opposition. How about when you are in his house, in his home? A very hard nut to crack.
Interesting.
We could
go quickly. Just Todong and Vale's plan to oust Mbabazi. That is in the red paper. Again, probably people would have to read into the story and see what he said. But I actually think they might be taking words out of Todong's mouth. We're saying he has unveiled plans to oust Mbabazi. Maybe. The manual that they've released has already come out, and they've deployed these ministers and youth MPs and all the other MPs to their constituencies to explain what's happened in the last few days.
Many people saying he deserves it, he's having a taste of his own medicine, but there you have it. We could probably tell you a lot more of what's happening in the papers, but you will have to get yourself a copy of one of these dailies and find out a lot more of what's cooking there. Thanks so much, Maurice, for joining us for this segment.
Thank you for hosting me.
We'll be right back with the big story.
NTV, turning on your world.
I can smell that liquor on your breath.
Because I've been drinking.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Men.
The way we talk, the things we eat, what we do, and the people we meet. What can we do about this?
All men are looking for different things. There is a man for every woman that walks the planet.
That's how you end up with people and then start to like them. Because you thought you wanted something else, then you discover other things, and they're the ones that you like.
The length of the man and the shortness of the woman could be a factor in play, because if you have a 6x6 bed and the man is taller than the entire bed.
Because you're going to live with this person for the rest of your life, you are allowed to compromise on a few things for a greater win in the end.
Join us this Wednesday at 9:50 p.m. only on Men as we talk about stereotypes.
Men.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
Let me tell you one thing,
Will you shut your lips?
There is something you need to know about Chris.
And that I'll fight my corner, maybe tonight.
I don't want him anyone near my baby. I don't want to see him.
Just save it. Save it.
Stop it. That's what happened. Doctor, I don't get what you're saying.
This woman is trouble. She's going to ruin my everything. I can't even trust myself around her.
Remember who the boss is here.
How can I forget? She's running after a married man and she's making me do all her dirty work.
I can't see you.
Oh, give me love, my give me love. Give me love like never before. 'Cause lately I've been craving more.
What's that?
That document.
Oh, that. Just some business.
I came to apologize. I have no right to interfere in your lives.
I've eliminated the only evidence that links me to Ivan Chinawa's death.
But you didn't have to kill another person.
It's not like I've got anything to hide, Nene. Just go ahead.
Victoria, how is it like to work for Miles Vilagazi?
Blood seemed to matter not.
Blood?
Yeah, blood.
I'm responsible for your father's death.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
Welcome to The Big Story with yours truly, Joel Senyonyi. And this morning, another fairly big story. The Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority was established by the government of Uganda under the Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority Act 2011. In place, of course, to ensure that when you get to retire, you have your benefits coming to you the right way they should be. It's unfortunate the way we see people having to burn the midnight oil trying to get their benefits, and so many other happenings. Of course, they do regulate the public and the private sector, trying to see that at the end of the day you have earned your money, but can you make sure that money gets to you? With me this morning is Moses Bekabi. He's the acting Chief Executive Officer of the Uganda Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. Wow, this is a mouthful of a word.
You can actually abbreviate it to UBRA.
To
for
UBRA.
Sure. Yeah, UBRA.
Okay, we'll use UBRA for now, but just to ensure people know what it is, it is Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. How are you this morning, Chief?
I think it's fine. It's a bit chilly here, and I'm wondering how you're sitting here. But it's
well,
fine.
part of what we have to go with that comes with a job, hopefully when it comes to getting our benefits, they'll come through. Having done a good job for the country.
You have to contribute first. You have to work for it.
We're doing our best. So tell me, work at UBRA as it is. How are you guys faring on?
I think we are doing fine. We started operations in December 2012. So we've been in operation for about, you can call it 14 months now. And I think we are doing very well. We've set up the institutional structures. The institutional development of the authority is currently ongoing. We've set up administrative structures. We are recruiting staff in order to enhance our capacities to oversee the sector. We are in procurement to ensure that our records and everything, supervision and financial management is proper. So we are introducing right away from the beginning automation of the authority by building the ICT infrastructure. We are also in the final process of recruiting the permanent chief executive officer, because I'm interim, as you know.
So people can apply?
No, I think it closed. It closed. Right. The application is closed. The job was actually applied for.
Staff, you talk about recruiting other staff besides the CEO?
Yes. That also is in process. We are in the process of recruiting a private firm to actually help us in the processing of applications, because we have about 10,000 applications for the jobs that we advertised. and we are in that process of contracting. But I think everything is going fine. We are licensing schemes and service providers. So far, we have more than 400 applications. We processed most of them. And we've been conducting a training of some of the service providers, such as trustees. We had trustees training about 2 weeks ago, and we're undertaking internal capacity building by training staff. So I think we're doing pretty well. And we have a new home. We started off in Communications House, but you know, when you're starting, you have to market yourself, you have to brand yourself, you have to show people you exist. So in Communications House, that wasn't happening, so we moved on to a new location. That is Plot 1 Clement Hill Road, and I think we are doing fine.
When you talk about retirement and what have you that comes with it thereafter, much of the time people's minds go to NSSF, you know, because they have been saving and they expect, all right, my money has accrued some interest, I need to get this money and make good use of it. So people might think, all right, these guys look like they are a branch of NSSF. Of course, you are not. What is your mandate?
The mandate of UBRA, in short, which is the Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, is actually to regulate and oversee the sector. Before this authority was in place, before the act was in place in 2011, the sector wasn't regulated. So the NSSF was self-regulating. The one of the public sector, which is the Public Service Pension Scheme, has also problems because it self-regulates and is regulated by the Ministry of Public Service. There are also many private schemes, which you can call voluntary schemes or occupational schemes. All of them were being self-regulated with all the problems that come with that. So there were no checks and balances in the system, and therefore they suffered governance issues.
So you come in to regulate NSSF and everybody that is a player in this market?
Yes, this body of government is a regulator. It comes in to regulate all these schemes, be them in the private or in public sector, that are receiving contributions from employees. Some of them may not necessarily be employees, which will get their benefits after retirement, especially the private schemes. They have a way of contributing and how to access those benefits. The law that we have in Parliament recognizes those schemes. Yeah, that's how we are proceeding.
You know, each time you talk about NSSF, shivers go down people's spines. Yeah, people have got their money there. NSSF has a portfolio of about 3 trillion Uganda shillings, and many people are concerned. They feel our money is in there. It's been misappropriated again and again. There's no trust for it, and you're coming on board saying you're going to regulate them. Your task is an uphill one. How do you hope to instill trust again in people out there? Because they save. Why? Because it's involuntary. You know, you have got to save whether you like it or not. And I'll tell you, if people had a choice out there, they will not save with NSSF because they're thinking I would make better use of my money elsewhere. So you've got to build that trust. What's your plan?
Yeah, I think you really touched the most important thing, because the most important thing that we are doing in this reform is to try and restore trust and confidence. You know, public trust and confidence in the retirement benefit sector. As you mentioned, because of poor governance in all these schemes, be it the NSSF, be it the public sector one, be it the voluntary schemes, there are significant governance issues. And therefore, that's why you are undertaking these reforms in order to address these governance issues. But most importantly is to have an independent and effective regulator for the sector to be regulated, to ensure that these contributions are protected.
Do you feel you are independent?
Yes, we are. But building institutions, we're just beginning. We are only 1 year. We just started from nowhere. We're just beginning from zero. So building capacity takes a little bit of time. But I think we are independent, and one of the key aspects of this independence is the financing of the authority. Parliament provided a financing structure for the authority, which would, over the longer term, ensure its independence. So that independence is going to come, and right now, whatever decisions we make are very independent. We're independent of the Ministry of Finance, we're independent of the Ministry of Gender, so we make independent decisions. There is a board that makes the decisions, and this board is chaired by someone from the private sector. Actually, the majority of the membership on the board is from the private sector. All this is meant to ensure that the board is actually independent. But the issue of trust and confidence is critical. And that's why we need to introduce some competitive pressure in the sector in order to improve governance in the sector. In Uganda, we've seen the only durable way of improving governance is when people feel that they have some bit of competition. Otherwise, you know, you put Moses Bekavye, what's your name?
Joel Senior.
Joel there and so on. They perform a few years and then the next person or even that person changes and so on. So if you are on your toes because of the competition and you respond to customer, clients, there is transparency and accountability, we have checks and balances in the system, then we can improve governance. But without the reforms that we are undertaking, this cannot happen.
Another fear that looms, because you see in the previous election, there was a general concern. People felt government raided Bank of Uganda, got the reserves out there, used them for election. And whichever pool there is of lots of money, people feel that one is going to be touched and misused. And I was having a chat the other day with people and they're feeling NSSF is the biggest bank, if you like. It's not a bank, of course, you know, but it's got lots of monies there and they're concerned. As 2016 draws nigh, we're going to see this money raided and being used for elections, etc., etc. And they are very concerned because they have worked their backs out, they've bent their backs over backwards to you know, make this money, save it involuntarily. And they're very concerned. They feel this money is going to be gotten, and instead of it being invested so that at the end of the day there is interest for them, it's going to be used otherwise. And that's another challenge you need to grapple with.
Yeah, I think what we are trying to do is the opposite of what you're saying. What we are trying to do is really to minimize the influence of government in these schemes. What we are trying to do is to put the savers in the firm control of their savings. That's why we have introduced the idea of irrevocable trusts so that all these schemes are reestablished as irrevocable trusts. What that means is that there is someone who is going to be trusted. The people who will be contributing to those schemes will have to appoint people they trust, and those people will form the bodies of trustees. And these are going to be irrevocable trusts. Means that once monies are contributed, and these monies are not going to be kept in the NSSF, they are going to be kept with the custodian. And the bodies of trustees will be the only people to actually order monies being transferred from a custodian, which is a big bank with large assets. Right now we have licensed 4 of them, and this is KCB, Standard Chartered Bank, Stanbic Bank, and also Housing Finance Bank. 4 of them. There is a 5th one which is not yet licensed. So only 5 banks, large banks, are actually supposed to be custodial banks. So the checks and balances we are putting in the system and the segregation of the functions as outlined in the Act, in the UBRA Act, ensures that these funds are protected and that no one is going to raid these funds. That's why we introduced the idea of bodies of trustees and also segregation of functions in order to protect these savings. So what we are trying to do is really to change the way things have been working. And because of transparency and accountability and effective regular reporting, there's going to be actually checks and balances by the general public to see how these schemes are operating.
The retirement benefits bill, it still is. Of late we have so many bills and we keep our ears to the ground to see what comes next. You are part of the architects of this particular bill. What's up your sleeves?
Yes, I think we are proceeding fine. However, there's some bit of misinformation, I may call it confusion, arising out of the meeting we had on the 25th of February this year, which was meant to bring in stakeholders to look at the bill and see if they have any proposals. But what transpired in that meeting has caused a lot of confusion. However, I think it was a good decision by the Permanent Secretary and Secretary of the Treasury of the Ministry of Finance to suggest a small team of people to see if there are any changes that they want to introduce to this bill. And we had our first meeting. I'm part of that committee. It's a committee of about 13 people from Ministry of Finance, from Federation of Uganda Employers, from Ministry of Gender and Labour and Social Development, the NSSF, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, mainly the Solicitor General's Office, Minister of Public Service, and also the trade unions. They're all represented in this. And the aim was to give a final chance for all these key stakeholders to have a final input into the bill. But the process for enacting this bill lies with the Committee of Parliament, that's the Committee of Finance and Planning, and all the work of the committee is continuing. However, the legislative function, in other words, moving this bill to the floor of Parliament, we'll await the recommendations of this small committee. But there has been some confusion saying that the bill is shelved, the bill is withdrawn from Parliament. That none of that has happened, because this bill belongs to Parliament. It belongs to the Committee of Parliament. It's a property of Parliament. It's either the Parliament or the Ministry of Finance or the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, who are the sponsors of this bill, can either withdraw that bill or shelve it. Right now, nothing has happened. We're working very closely with the relevant committee to ensure that all the necessary processes for legislating this bill is fine and proper. But I just want to underline the fact that we're going to wait a little bit. We're not moving as fast as we had envisaged, because this committee, smaller committee, has to make recommendations to the Committee of Parliament, just like any other stakeholders goes to the Committee of Parliament and makes recommendations. The final decision is going to be the decision of Parliament on this bill.
Sometime back, not too long ago, there is an old man that kept commuting, coming to pick his pension, and again and again, till eventually was knocked by a border and died. And I'll tell you, that's a story that brings out the predicament of many people who are seeking to get their retirement benefits. It's something that is grotesque. It is wrong that it happens this way, that people keep coming, they don't get their benefits, that at the end of the day, when they go to, request for these monies, we have people that have mastered the art of reaping where they have not sown. They'll say, give me an envelope so I can process your monies, and that's a general concern, that in many ways brings out the plight of people that have worked over the years. They have served the nation as faithfully as they possibly could. They cannot access their monies, and of course, I know you've been around for about a year, but people are thinking, okay, we need to see you, the regulators, coming to nip this in the bud. What are you doing about that?
Yes, I think first and foremost, I must say that there are some changes, especially with the NSSF. You can see that the NSSF over the last 3 years, because we've been working with them, they know what's coming. They know the competition is coming. They know it's inevitable. We need to introduce other players in the sector in order to improve governance. They have been improving. They are making efforts to improve. You can see that they are in the newspapers, they are advertising, they are putting out their statements, they are giving individual statements to members and so on. That's what we want to see for the entire sector. But it cannot be just the NSSF, because the NSSF right now covers just a small portion of what they are supposed to cover. They cover only about 33% of the farms that are supposed to be contributing. So there is still within the mandate of the NSSF a large portion of the farms which are not covered. So we need to bring in other players in order to improve that. The issue of accessing benefits is a key issue. It's the issue of governance, not only in the NSSF, but the NSSF has improved over time, as I mentioned. There's a big problem with the public service pension scheme, and that's where we are introducing a number of reforms. First of all, we are going to be separating the public service pension scheme from the Ministry of Public Service and create a separate fund, which is going to be run like the NSSF. It's going to be contributory, it will be fully funded, and therefore when people retire, and these funds will be invested prudently. You mentioned the issue of investment earlier. One of the other key elements is to ensure that these contributions are invested prudently and they give a good return. Of course, there are other methods in order to mitigate risk that comes with that. But all that is in place, and we can be able to achieve this. Many of these such schemes around the world, they are reforming, including our neighbors in Kenya here. They underwent reforms, and they are undertaking additional reforms beginning 1st July this year. And we're also learning from them. So a number of countries, including in Europe, they're undertaking reforms in order to safeguard the benefits of savers. So we are also doing the same.
Mr. Moses Bekabi, your job is a hard one, but one that's got to be done, because we've got to see Ugandans, after they have worked hard over the years, getting their benefits. And as a way of saying we appreciate your service to the country. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Up next, my opinion.
Okay.
Not long ago, I bumped into a man. This man was 55 years of age, and he told me, I am an orphan. I said, wow, this sounds really wrong, yeah, but getting deeper behind the story, I got to realize this man worked hard. I was in the public service, and at the end of the day, he's trying to chase his pension, he's trying to chase his retirement benefits, and they're not coming through, and he's feeling, okay, I don't have anybody to help me, I am an orphan, I've been chasing my money, and I'm not getting this money. I think this is wrong. We need to see how we get to ameliorate the lives of people that have served this country faithfully. And of course, you brothers come in to try and see how they can nip this in the bud in one way or the other. But generally, it goes to show that as a country, we do not seem to appreciate people for the work they do. Some guy sang a song not too long ago, Basima Ogenze. I think we need not wait for that. People have worked for their monies. They have served this country. They have served, these organizations wherever they have. Let's appreciate them. When they retire, let's ensure they get their benefits and get them on time. That's our big story for this morning. Thanks a bunch for joining us. Simon Kasiata is away, and Joel Senyonyi was around this morning. Good morning at NTV still does continue. Do stay with us.
NTV, turning on your world.
This is very good. Hope you like this one.
Chris, is this where you and Evelyn have been meeting?
We're going to take them off.
You have to tell Gilbert where. Stop this nonsense. I need you to be honest with me and tell me the truth.
Sorry, you need to pay first, then I can help you.
They told me that then you would kill him.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of La Patrona.
I'm sorry, you'll have to find a new administrator. Or give your son the job. You love him so much, and he's so competent, right? That way it stays in the family.
Espino! In life, there are many twists.
Boss, everything's going great. Antonia Guerra's beside herself.
I want you to have her exhumed. The body of Gabriela Suarez.
La Patrona.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
oluvannyuma lwa lutalo abaana bangi batwalibwa abekika era
abamu bajja ne babakima
era twagende mu lukoola eyo nakasongola mu buluuri twagende mu butale lwabalaaro okubuuza omwana oyo mumanyi
nti mukwate obutonde obwekonkome mukwate obutonde bwa Ebola mubuteeke mu nsigo omuzungu ayogedde palamenti muyise bosi basajja
omulembe guno gutuusemu n'abantu n'entondo kati waliwo n'emyaka egy'entondo
waliwo yakingamba
bamugamba mungambe bulungi kati munkwate empola
dokita buli akwata bayibuli eno ajja kusomera bintu nga ye bwalowooza. For example, waliwo controversy yaliwo.
Tobeera mu ssuuti ate n'oteeka mu gganduula.
Olina kubeerako kimu.
Beerako kimu.
Kubanga okusomesezza tumaze emyaka 2 tusomesa bannayuganda. Eddembe lyammwe mulimanyi oluusi n'obusobozi obulina.
Nakulabira Abaganda baagala kabaka.
Oh!
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
A very good thing. Joining us from lots of noise here.
I don't know. They're always telling me to stand by. That's why I even kept to my there.
On to Garden City Avenue. And you would be going live on television. And yes, we are doing it. 3 amazing locations at the golf course, at the Serena rooftop, and at the NTV studios, of course, with Mabel. Now, in a couple of moments, we want to showcase one of the most, I guess, for lack of a better word, calm games, and that is golf. But for now, traffic is really too much here. And I'll quickly go through some of your messages on Twitter that you have sent us. And of course, most of the time, I believe that these guys have finally gone live. Please bear with me. All right.
Okay.
Kasik John at 123 Kasik John saying, great job, have truly shown
maybe
of communication. And as I cross the road, I hope no one knocks me here. All right. Great skill of communication. We also have a comment from at Kalexcam. I think someone today, Daka Bachigongo, will nail it because I trust his confidence. And also commenting on Joel Senyonyi on the big story. Thank you so much. At Elsimua saying, at Joel Senyonyi doing a great job on the big story. Wow, different show today. It's at Morris Mugisha with that Joel Senyonyi doing the press review. Welcome to the show, Morris. Yes, Morris, today we have hired him really. And some of you answering the question. Okay, before we head, we go forward, let me update you on what's going on as far as traffic is concerned. Good morning.
Well, you are watching Morning at NTV here at the Kampala Golf Club. Amazing. I never thought I would actually be here. Well, it's a beautiful day. It's calm, and I think I will be teeing off. I don't know if that's the correct word. Dakaba will help me later. But as you can see, golf is not as easy as it actually looks. But yeah, at least he has been able to put it in. Now on to some of your messages. Regarding the big story with Joel, Zenson says people should get their benefits without any problem like it is today. And then someone says, Joel, thanks for the show, but where is Simon? Simon unfortunately couldn't be with us today. Katende says, I think it can work. Let us wait. And Chris says, I'm glad that this is very good that Mr. Joel is on. Someone can please pick what is going on, and please keep it up by giving the guests time to talk. We shall now hand over to Ben for the FCC moment. Of your messages. We've got a message from Barbara Chimbugwe who says Mitiana is good and cool and they are happy they can get us there. Someone else says it's raining cats and dogs in Bar. That message actually comes in from Caesar. She says Bar is quite cold. And then we also have Moses who says thank you NTV for starting my morning. And someone here says Sheila. Sheila says, thank you for your creativity. Thank you for your creativity, NTV. And yes, from the 3 different locations, we're in the studio, rooftop, and now we are here, Kampala Golf Club. I now hand you over to Brian for the traffic report.
We started with the goal of bringing the power of computing into the hands of people around the world. From the beginning, we were designing many of the world's first touch and wireless handheld devices. Reaching out to our partners and setting no limits on innovation, we produced one of the most popular touch experience devices of the time. We were building smartphones before the term smartphone even existed. We then set out to make the most versatile smartphones, including ones that let you use either a touchscreen or a keyboard. We saw the potential of 3G early on and introduced the world's first 3G Windows mobile smartphone. We changed the way you use your fingers. Based on our research into gestures, we gave you the intuitive and easy-to-use HTC Touch. We then announced a new way for you to experience the internet with the world's first Google Android smartphone. To give you the most personal experience, we introduced HTC Sense, a user experience that fundamentally changes the way you use your phone by making things work the way you expect them to. We once more revolutionized the industry by launching the world's first 4G Android smartphone. We integrated Beats audio into our phones to deliver the most authentic sound experience, enabling people to finally feel the music the way the artist intended. We created a one-of-a-kind phone with an amazing camera that outperforms most point-and-shoot varieties. Most recently, we once again set the industry ablaze with the new HTC One. Critics have hailed the new One with its full metal body design, a live home screen, photos that come to life, and dual frontal speakers as the best Android phone of the year. Curiosity and ingenuity have defined our history, and we're recognized by the industry as one of the world's most innovative brands. We've come a long way, but one thing hasn't changed. It's people like you that inspire us to create the most innovative products in a world that becomes more connected every day.
A very good morning. It's so loud here, beehive of activity, and I'm just overlooking the golf course right there, and Mabel and Daka Bachigongo doing their thing. You can see them there at the golf course, and trying to buddy and bogey, whatever they call it now. But we'll be showcasing the game of golf in a couple of minutes. But as far as traffic is concerned, you can see on Acacia Avenue, very packed right now, really packed. And of course, bodabodas doing their thing, just breaking the monotony. If you can just zoom into that lady, really. Of course, some people choosing Futsubishi. Traffic officers on the other side doing their thing. Also around, Fairway Hotel. And we are doing this live, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're leaving your office right now, going for a meeting, or leaving your home, this is the live traffic update right now at Acacia Avenue, onto Chitante Road, onto Garden City, and onto Acacia Avenue. And of course, a reminder that our Everyday Life is powered by HTC, quietly brilliant. I've been talking about the HTC One Max for a very long time, and today I want to bring something different. A beautiful design called the HTC Desire 500. And those who have visited the HTC Hub know exactly what I'm talking about. Check this out. It has a memory card slot of up to 64 GB. Expandable memory of up to 64 GB. Internal, of course, memory of 4 GB RAM and 1 GB and a processor which is really fast. Of course, you can do your internet on it. Some of the amazing features is the radio, the GPS. It comes in black, silver, and it has, you can do your Dropbox, those of us who like such things. They have even the predictive text input where you can store Luganda words like government, and it completes a tuyambe. It can do that for you. That's what it's doing. Of course, organizers, accelerator meter, and of course, you can also you can use it as your remote control. Visit the HTC hub, and you might be thinking, how do I win a phone like that? Simple. Go to your phone right now and note these questions. All right, too much activity here, so forgive me. But because I have the HTC One Max, it's processing quite fast. These are the questions. Name any one of the many unique features on the HTC One Max, the phone I've been holding. I'm holding the phone I've been talking about for a very long time. And what time does Sol Mo make air? Question number 3, who does Brian and Mabel host the sports segment with? And question number 4, what is the duration of Fit and Fab? And my friend, you can send those correct answers with your name to 6565. Now, if you can just, follow me as I try and cross the road here and try and get the views of some of the people here. But I'll be back with them. And we're still at the golf course. Bye-bye.
We started with the goal of bringing the power of computing into the hands of people around the world. From the beginning, we were designing many of the world's first touch and wireless handheld devices. Reaching out to our partners and setting no limits on innovation, we produced one of the most popular touch experience devices of the time. We were building smartphones before the term smartphone even existed. We then set out to make the most versatile smartphones, including ones that let you use either a touchscreen or a keyboard. We saw the potential of 3G early on and introduced the world's first 3G Windows mobile smartphone. We changed the way you use your fingers. Based on our research into gestures, we gave you the intuitive and easy-to-use HTC Touch. We then announced a new way for you to experience the internet with the world's first Google Android smartphone. To give you the most personal experience, we introduced HTC Sense, a user experience that fundamentally changes the way you use your phone by making things work the way you expect them to. We once more revolutionized the industry by launching the world's first 4G Android smartphone. We integrated Beats audio into our phones to deliver the most authentic sound experience, enabling people to finally feel the music the way the artist intended. We created a one-of-a-kind phone with an amazing camera that outperforms most point-and-shoot varieties. Most recently, we once again set the industry ablaze with the new HTC One. Critics have hailed the new One with its full metal body design, a live home screen, photos that come to life, and dual frontal speakers as the best Android phone of the year. Curiosity and ingenuity have defined our history, and we're recognized by the industry as one of the world's most innovative brands. We've come a long way, but one thing hasn't changed. It's people like you that inspire us to create the most innovative products in a world that becomes more connected every day. We started with the goal of bringing the power of computing into the hands of people around the world. From the beginning, we were designing many of the world's first touch and wireless handheld devices. Reaching out to our partners and setting no limits on innovation, we produced one of the most popular touch experience devices of the time. We were building smartphones before the term smartphone even existed. We then set out to make the most versatile smartphones, including ones that let you use either a touchscreen or a keyboard. We saw the potential of 3G early on and introduced the world's first 3G Windows mobile smartphone. We changed the way you use your fingers. Based on our research into gestures, we gave you the intuitive and easy-to-use HTC Touch. We then announced a new way for you to experience the internet with the world's first Google Android smartphone. To give you the most personal experience, we introduced HTC Sense, a user experience that fundamentally changes the way you use your phone by making things work the way you expect them to. We once more revolutionized the industry by launching the world's first 4G Android smartphone. We integrated Beats audio into our phones to deliver the most authentic sound experience, enabling people to finally feel the music the way the artist intended. We created a one-of-a-kind phone with an amazing camera that outperforms most point-and-shoot varieties. Most recently, we once again set the industry ablaze with the new HTC One. Critics have hailed the new One with its full metal body design, a live home screen, photos that come to life, and dual frontal speakers as the best Android phone of the year. Curiosity and ingenuity have defined our history, and we're recognized by the industry as one of the world's most innovative brands. We've come a long way, but one thing hasn't changed. It's people like you that inspire us to create the most innovative products in a world that becomes more connected every day.
And we've been promising you that all this time we are going to play some golf. I'm not really dressed as a golfer, but at least I have my golf shirt on. Odanki maybe can give me some shoes over there. But we are live at the golf course right here at Chitante, where of course the Uganda Golf Club meets. And today we are going to talk golf. Why do we play golf? How do we play golf? And some of the questions that need to be answered are going to be answered right here today on the show. Now joining me is the captain of the Uganda Golf Club, Mr. Charles. Okay, whatever you're doing, just play it.
Yes, I'm now passing number 9, it's a par 3, and I'm here for regulation 1, so I'm supposed to put it in 2 times. Let me try and do that. Not hard enough. Not hard enough. So if I don't put it in now, I'll probably play a bogey. Okay. That is 1 over.
All right. I think I can put this in.
Yes,
let me put this in.
Yes, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm obviously not dressed like a golfer.
No, you are not.
You can see.
No, you are not.
First of all, let's look at the kit of golf.
Yes.
I can see in your shoes.
Yes.
Someone told me that you have to be extremely smart. You have to, to look really nice on the golf course. What do I need, first of all, with the kit?
Well, of course, one, you need a glove. This glove helps you to avoid the blisters when you are holding the glove.
Really?
I have a set, you can see my head shoulder there. Which fit at 14 clubs. And each club gives you a certain distance. And then the last one we use is the putter. This one you use on the green, when you're on the green like this. Okay. You use this one to finish the game. Okay. Otherwise, all the 14 clubs are there. So you must have the clubs, must have the tees where we put the balls when we are playing. You must have a marker which you put on the ground when you get on the green and clean your ball. When you're on the course, you don't have to clean your ball. You only clean it when you get on the green. On the green.
Talking about green, I've been told there's fairway, I think, and the rough.
All right, okay. Now, the game of golf is played on a golf course. The golf course usually has 18 holes, or can have 9 holes, and it's made in such a way that you have got an area which is cut. Well, you start from a tee box. Let's start from the beginning. A tee box. A tee box is where you start off. If you can see across that number 9, you see the mark stones.
Yes.
And those mark stones are 3 categories. One is blue, right at the back. That's for the professionals. The white is for the ordinary golfer, and the red in front is for the ladies. The distances are different. The distances are different. Then, before you are allocated the number of times you should hit a ball before you get on the green. Some holes are 5, so you're supposed to have 5 pads, rather 5 shots. Others are 4, others are 3. Where we're standing is a par 3.
Okay.
So you have a fairway. Usually it's about 25 meters wide. Now that's the best part on the course if you are playing, because then the sides are rough. The roughs are left there to make the game a little more challenging. You do not have it that easy. No. Then we have sand traps. You see these are bunkers. They are called bunkers. The bank here, sand bunkers. Okay. They are also there to make the game a little more difficult.
So you can actually go and have to play.
You go there, you must play the ball as it lies, as we say. Yes, in the sand. Dig it out. You have a special club for that.
All right. This is very interesting. So this golf course, does every golf course does it have 18 holes?
In Uganda we have only 3 courses which have 18 holes. That is Uganda Golf Club, NTV Golf Club, and the Rembe Golf Club. The rest are 9 holes. That means when you are playing, you go do 2 rounds. You play 9 and go back and do a 9.
You make
18. Because the game of golf is over 18 holes.
Right.
So it's only Uganda Golf Club, NTV, and Rembe that have 18 holes.
All right, let's first go down to the basics now.
Yes.
Starting with the game. Yes. And I know, I've always thought golf is so boring. How can and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a game of concentration.
It's a game of the mind.
The game of the mind.
Yes.
The first shot, one of the first shots, I always see people taking a shot, up there.
Yes, that's number 10.
That's number 10.
Yeah, they shoot from there, going down there, it's a par 4.
Right.
Yes.
I think for many people, our main concern is this. Explain to us some of the words that you use. I know that I think someone tried to tell me there's a buddy, there's a bogey, there's a
double bogey, triple bogey. Yes.
Okay. I've just been, triple bogey.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now this is par 3. So this is hole number 9 is the par 3. You were supposed to put in your hole the ball 3 times. That is a par because it's a par 3. Now anything above that, if you do 4, that's a bogey or 1 over. If you put it in for 5, that is a double bogey. Or 5 times or 6, that's a triple. No, we don't expect anybody to go beyond that if you are a serious golfer. You should do at least do 5, not more than 5.
Right.
Yeah.
I know we have very little time, but I want to quickly go to why many Ugandans are not very good lovers of golf.
Oh, okay.
What do you think has made it impossible?
There is a wrong perception that golf is for the rich. That perception is in the society that golf is for the rich. Tell me any game which you play without paying money anyway. If you are playing tennis, you still need a racket, you still need balls, you have to belong to a club and pay. If you are playing football, same thing, you must get boots, you must get what. So golf also you must have some reasonable money. You must belong to the club. Then after that, if you are interested in the game, we have got professionals. we have 4 people who are authorized to teach golf at Uganda Golf Club. We have Sadi, we have Dewa Kope, Amos Kamia, and James Gabata. So we give you one of those guys and have taken you through the rituals of golf. You start from a place we call a range. It's down there. It's an open place. So you are told how to handle your club, how to hit the ball, and when you are after about 1 month, then you are ready to go on the course and start playing. Now when you start playing, we give you what we call a handicap. We have a system, a computer-generated system. If you keep playing and putting in your scores, it gives you a handicap. What is a handicap? A handicap is the number of mistakes you are allowed to make. Because this course, I told you, you have a par 3, par 4. So when you count all of them, you go to 72. So this is a par 72. Now if you hear someone say, I have played 72, I have played level. So he has not made a mistake. Wow. Yes, he has not made a mistake. He played 72. That is usually many of these are professionals. But a golfer like me, I'm allowed 12 mistakes. I'm handicap 12. Right. So what you score, you keep adding, you get a gross, you take off the mistakes you are allowed to make, which is the handicap. So usually the beginners are given handicap 28, you are allowed 28 mistakes. As you go on improving, the system generates allocates your handicap, and if you are very good, then you are zero handicap. Zero handicap. Those are not supposed to make any mistake. You talked about the different clubs. Yes. And let's get some of these clubs. Yes. Explain to us exactly what they are about. Yes. Yes. This is my card display. Usually, when you are this club gives you different distances. This is called the driver, for example. You can see the big head. This is the driver. If you are playing a long distance, par 5 or par 4, you need long distance. So this one, bring a tee, you get a tee, you tee it. Small bag inside there. You tee it and you put your ball and you are supposed to get maximum distance. Some people can play up to 300 yards. So it helps you push exactly. Then this you can see now, after that you can use depending on the distance, this is the wood, this is the 5 wood. So you see a ball like this, you know. Alright, so then you can fire. I want to try this. You want to try this? Okay, face it that way. Okay, then hit well that way. I don't know if I'll hit my camera. You don't understand. This is what you call this. This is a driver. Called a driver. So you hit well that way. Is there a post? Yes. That's all right. I think and the trick is you keep your eye on the ball. Not on the... You must look at the ball when you are going to hit. Otherwise you will miss the ball. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably doing career swing. Yes. Alright, let me see. The profession also means Alright. Oh my God. This is the most I'm going. Yeah. Okay, but we'll stop down. Yeah. So that is supposed to be like 300 yards. 200 yards. Alright. And then these small crabs, these ones, you have, these are called irons. These are wood, these are irons. You have them from iron 3 to iron 9. Then you have a special one for the sand. The sand wedge. This is the sand wedge. Okay. But this is now, this is a pitching wedge. This gives you like 130 yards, 100, depending on your strength and on your ability. Now this is a special one for the sand. called a sandwich from cook it out. You can see the design here. So each one of these has its own use. Each one of these has its own use.
Tell me about, I think I was told about the hip movement, I think, where you have to, your hip determines a lot how far you shoot.
Well, if you go into that thing, you are going to train. I'm not a trainer. But you know, you are supposed to allow your body. See where this body is, you are right with your left foot. And then the trick is, you must have your left arm straight. You must have the main straight you are going to the ball. And then you swing, this is called the swing. You swing like this, and then come and hit the ball. Yes. You keep your eye on the ball. That's the trick.
Keep your eye on the ball.
So, that's
if you just saying that we are the golf club here at Tichanga and trying to learn exactly how golf works. Remember, the ladies are captain prizes coming up, and our own managing director, Agi Konde, is handing over the reins, and of course NTV is proud to be a part of this sponsorship package of 20 million shillings, and it's an honor. Hanging out with the captain of the Uganda Golf Club, and Mr. Charles Seleka trying to teach us. I think I've tried to do a 300 yard, you know. So maybe come and try this out. Come and try.
Now this is called party.
Party.
Yeah. So when you get to the green, say you have reached.
You can't.
No. So say you have hit the ball from there, and the land is like this. And here, you are allowed to mark it. You have a marker. You have a marker. You mark the ball. You can't even use it. And use this for purposes of demonstration.
So you mark the ball.
You mark where the land is like this.
Right.
Hit it. You have this card very fast and you can win your ball you want. Or you don't want it, doesn't matter. And then you put it back in the same position. Exactly. This is the marker. What we call a marker. So this is what we call a marker. Because it's supposed to something that will not fall in the green. Then you put your ball after hitting it, you put it back in the same position. And then you hit it. See the ball? Now try it.
Alright, Maple is going for, it's going to part, right? It's called
parting. Yeah, it's called parting.
Maple.
Keep your eye on the ball. Yes. Once you have taken your line, you pass your line, you set the line where you want to go, and then you keep your ball on the eye. Of course, you make the distance also.
Okay. Alright, let's go, Maple. Let's go for it.
Alice has moved. So now you are now there 4. You are now there 3. 2. You have overshot. You are now there 3. You have come back here.
Alright, let's try this.
Yes.
And you know, you have to appreciate the game of golf because it takes a lot of concentration. Alright.
Yeah, that's good. Control the speed. Okay, try again.
I think I would do it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Give it to the supporter.
Let me see. Almost.
So then you talked about the rhythm game. It's really the passion. It's the passion more than anything else.
Right.
And once you got into this game, it's a very, very nice game and addictive.
Right.
And the other good aspect of it is at whatever age, as long as you're able to walk, as long as you're able to walk, you can play this game. So it's good for the youth, good for the elderly, very, very good exercise.
What is the golf club trying to do to promote it, in Uganda? Because, like you say, the stereotype is that, only the rich people.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of a couple of people that have gone to admire on the post just this morning. And yes, they are not poor people. So what are you trying to do to reach the guy on the street?
Actually, some of our best golfers here are people who started their academy, those who are holding our bag. So they give the passion and they play. We are not necessarily rich, but of course you need some money. You must belong to the club, you must buy the right attire, you can see the shoes we put on. We don't allow shoes with high shoes because it's called the green. So we now have a program for the youth. Probably you wish to know every holiday we allow children to come and play golf every day in the morning, The ladies section has organized that program, so we introduce the youth. We also go to schools and talk to schools about the game of golf. So, as you said earlier, the game looks boring before you get into it. But once you have got into it, worldwide, it is widely known. People who have started golf, the drop-up rate is only 2%. Once you have started golf, the people who have left golf is only 2%.
Like what someone saying, once you go black, you never go back.
Correct. Yeah.
Now quickly, comment about the ladies' captain prize. What is it?
All right. Yes. Every year we have elections, and there are two types of elections. One is for the ladies section. There's when they elect executive, the captain and vice captain, secretary, treasurer, committee members to run the affairs of the ladies section within the year. And likewise the male also, the club, because I've been the captain for the last 2 years, and my time is also ending on the 27th of this month.
So you have
a captain prize on 22nd, and I'm inviting you to come. It's going to be big, it's sponsored by HIMA. We have a press conference at February 18th. If you can come, it's going to be grand. It's very big, because I'll also be recognizing the organization personalities who have helped me during my last year in office. So it's going to be a big thing on the 22nd of this month. So the Aggies is on this weekend, and we invite very many people to come. And thereafter, more people should come for the one on the 22nd.
All right. There you go. We are at the golf. Let me just do this, one more time. I'll probably go for the easy one. Here. Just imagine the ball has dropped there.
All right.
The ball has dropped there.
Yes.
And this is the decider.
Well done.
All right.
You now have a badge. That's called a badge.
All right.
Anything below the badge is a badge.
Make your way to the Uganda Golf Club right here at Chitante and get to meet some of the guys that are playing, but also get a lecture or a practical lesson on how you can enjoy a good game. Our managing director, Aggie Kone, will be handing over the reins this weekend in a tournament that they've dubbed the Ladies Captain's Prize. Well, if you can make your way and come and join the people here, please do. But for now, let's take a short break. When we come back, Ismail Mayo and I will be hooking you up with the latest in the world of sport. Good morning.
Everyday Life was brought to you by
We are HTC.
NTV, turning on your world.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat.
nemu. Tawanya demo mwingi. Hani kutabu. Ukunyira. Kwanza njaka kuva. Tunaje ndio nyumba ya tabanja. Oli kuva mwingi na wakati. Kikulu nnyo abeewula okumanya banka n'abatuwola engeri gye babalamu amagoba.
Lwaki obuuza ekibuze? Ddembe lyo ekyo kikulu nnyo okukimanya. Onfuna kikulu nnyo okusooka okunoonyereza tusobole okwetegereza n'okwekkaanya. Okifuna amagoba n'oluvannyuma tulondeko amagoba agatuuzeeko okuba amatono.
Me. Oh, you're giving way too much credit.
You know what? You got what you want. But what shocks me is that you don't care at all about Hakim and Lulu.
What is that? That was me trying to save the two of us. At the expense of someone's career? A man's got to do what a man's got to do to survive. All I need is answers.
How about you stay away from my reporters and stay away from my newspaper?
Hakim could be Mabel's son, but that's yet to be verified.
But it is.
Where did you get all these stories from? I'm a journalist, but what enemy? But what I don't buy?
If you spend less time on the phone, you should probably move up to speed.
Gee, thanks for the advice. I'm your mother, not one of your cheap whores, and you need to show me some respect.
People, 50 days, one task.
An incredible journey of 10,000 kilometers to deliver a taste of home to Humphrey Kayange in London.
A journey you can be part of. We're looking for 25 people to say Twende Kasi and join the Tasker 25 on this mission.
Join me!
Join me!
Join me! Join me!
Join me! Join us and be a part of Africa's most epic TV show. Twende Kasi!
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Destiny.
Step.
Fernando's dead.
I'm quite sure your daughter is starting to lose her mind. Of course she has to go with Victor.
I don't like you because you're too much like my father. And any person who's similar to him can't make anyone happy. Therefore, I feel sorry for my sister's future.
Destiny River.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today, changes with Orange.
Aro, give me 5 stress, 3 gonorrhea.
Kale muli wano you think you brought campasas omwana yenna asobola okugamba super team si myaka gyaffe.
I'm like, I like my son too.
So what about it? Then she was like, I also like your accent, that village accent.
Now, I'm going to give you one. I'm going to get a chili tea. I'm going to give you what is inside your food. When you got political, I'm going to cut you out.
Kamuza, why are you crying?
I think I'm Big Mitch, Larry Hoover. Put that in Portuguese accent.
I think I'm Big Mitch, Larry Hoover.
It's exactly 14 minutes still at the golf course here. And one of the things that I was told is that you have to be extremely smart on the golf course. And I see it's
I've taken a lot of lessons about golf, and actually I was waiting to hear words like ego, albatross,
yeah,
the course, and I only had Buddy and Bobby. Probably it's only the captain who could pull up an albatross, but that was quite something from you, and quite something from you to hit.
And then he had the driver.
Are you kidding? The ball just fell there, and you know.
So the first time you had a bigger thingy.
Oh, are you joking me? That thing, first of all, is very huge. You have to take your eyes off the ball.
And
someone is okay.
Telling you, I think it's exactly what you can say. It's very addictive. Because when I missed, I was like, I have to make sure I put this
in my personal action, for example, you put the ball here.
Make sure your left leg is always
in line
with the ball.
If you play with your right, make sure your right leg is in line with the ball. That way, you can always have your eyes looking at it, so you wouldn't miss.
Right.
So that was a good job.
I did well. I did well.
I wonder what happened the first time you appeared on camera. You could have walked out of the church.
All right, let's talk sport. Let's start with volleyball. The federation says that they're going to expand the National Men's League to 12 teams by 2015. Is it a wise move?
From 10 to 12 teams, first of all, comes into my mind, but I hope growth is not. They've got to grow it because there is demand for those teams, and then it's got to be a wise move, because I look at it at this point in time. There are so many players coming out of high school and they can't find teams to play for. For example, this week Nemo Stars is signing 4 or 5 players who I don't think won't get playing time at Nemo Stars, who are the best team in Uganda. So probably we would have all these players going to join all these smaller teams, and that would help the growth of the league. So that would mean there would be more competition right from Serie C to Serie D to Serie A. As teams are, because you have to go through that conveyor belt. The team from Serie C gets promoted to Serie D, then from Serie D, the 2 teams from Serie D come up to Serie A. So I really hope this is not cosmetic, because if it were, it wouldn't work. Recently, basketball has been trying out something like this, and it has been the cosmetic growth that they tried with the basketball hasn't worked, because teams have fallen off like heaters. You don't want to see something similar where a team comes into the league, and that's the one thing. So I hope the Uganda Volleyball Federation have done their mark in terms of what exactly we need to do with this league.
Still in volleyball, Nemo Stars and DJ Elites are preparing for the African engagements. Yeah. How do you think they'll perform?
Last year they didn't do that well, but I could forgive them because it was the first time they were playing outside Uganda. And the growth of volleyball will be, because of the fan base they're enjoying these days in Lugogo, and the growth of the number of teams, has meant that they've had to extend the boundaries. And last year, both Nemo Stars and Indeje played in the Africa Club Championship. So it's a good thing that if they can go there and make it consistently, competing outside Uganda would be a good thing. I remember when Indeje played in Madagascar with the women, then I think came 11th out of 17, and Nemo Stars didn't do any better when they traveled to Libya. So you hope there is an improvement. I hope they are going to learn something, and they are going to have be better teams than they were when they competed there last time. Because for me, the underlying thing about being able to compete outside Uganda is to be able to improve. Now that they are going there consistently, that should be a good thing for the league and for this team.
Awesome.
First of all, I was surprised to learn early this week that people are going to have to pay to get into Kololo. I don't know how many will pay for the Africa Cross Country Championship. I would say myself, I pay for so many things, sport, and not pay for so many other things. And the minimum for the ticket is 10,000 shillings to get into Kololo on Sunday. And then there's 30,000 for mid-table VIP. Then there is 50,000 for the real VVIP. So I'm hoping these kind of prices don't keep people away, because I think it's a very big opportunity for Uganda. Not only to showcase to the world, but also for the Ugandan athletes to win medals. And the competition has been dominated by Kenya. So I really hope this is 10,000 for you. It is for the 30, and then the 50,000 comes Sunday.
Right. Well, I will see whether these guys ably represent us. But moving on to Europe, one of the biggest nights in world football, the Champions League,
I was very proud of my team. We lost, but I was very proud of my team.
It was a
Tell me
draw.
what happened. Yes, you pick a draw, you know, and have a penalty saved. I think that's a good thing.
I think every Arsenal fan across the world today should be very, very proud. And probably everyone will look back. If they had a chance of beating Bayern, and I don't think they had a chance the moment the draw was done in December. I have to be very honest, because I think Bayern are playing their best football over the past 18 months.
Yeah.
But they will only look back at that moment at 0-0 at the Emirates when Messi got the miss that penalty. Perhaps that's the moment that decided the entire time.
Yeah.
The moment Arsenal missed theirs, okay, Bayern eventually did miss in the first day against David Alaba, had his penalty saved by Wojciech Szczesny. But thereafter, when Bayern did score 2 goals at the Emirates and came back home leading by 2 goals to nil, probably Arsenal did have a chance of going through. But in terms of the competitive spirit, in terms of the performance, there's a lot Arsene Wenger can take out of this performance. Because I think the biggest problem for so many of us in our lives is we never learn when we don't win. Probably there's a lot Arsenal can take from this game. They defended resolutely. Though Bayern had their chances, they couldn't get that goal. They couldn't get the goal to win the game. They even had a penalty, like you said, Thomas Muller late in the game, and that also was saved. So you've got to think there's a lot of positives Arsenal can take out of it. The only sad thing is that it's now for its second successive season Arsenal can't make it by last 16 stages. That means the club is in decline in terms of performance. And unluckily for them, they get the wrong draw. And I remember
We're always getting the tough guys.
because it was Bayern last year, then it's Bayern again this year. And the 2 years ago it used to be Barcelona. So probably Arsenal don't
I'm sure Wenger should be thinking, I want to get into this Champions League thing and draw probably Chelsea against Bayern every year.
2 years ago when the Arsenal vice chairman David Dane was part of the FA, and Arsenal would get, reportedly, according to Jose Mourinho, they'd get the favours of the fixtures. That when Arsenal are playing away in Europe, over the weekend they'll make sure Arsenal have a home fixture to help Arsenal recover. So that kind of thing probably to help us. But I think Arsenal should be very proud. They got knocked out by the better team.
Yeah.
Probably Bayern didn't play as well, knowing that they had already won the game by 2 goals. The appetite was not at the same level it was in the first.
I actually told someone that, you know what, these guys are really being, for lack of a better word, very arrogant, because how can you fail to bury that? You know, they just think they're the best in the business.
At some point, I think Bayern was playing to the gallery. They're trying to win the game in the most beautiful way. They came up with that old Barcelona thing of 2010-2011, where they want to pass the ball into it, someone could shoot at goal. They decide to play a fancy pass over the top of the defense. So things like that probably, for me, showed that Bayern in the night just knew they had done enough in the first leg.
And today we have Manchester City playing.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about the game?
Will they go to the Camp Nou and win by 3 goals to nil?
No.
To go through? Wow, that would take quite a miracle.
And the fact that they lost to Wigan.
Yeah, they lost to Wigan. So, but I think they can wash that out of their system, because, like we've been saying, this is the biggest game of their season. This same company, the captain, was talk about how they've got to call up the spirit with which they won their first league title. They came from 2 goals down to beat up on Queen's Park Rangers that many years, a few years ago. So that kind of spirit is there, and they've been very positive even after losing by 2 goals to nil. Now the fear I have is that Barcelona too lost at the weekend to Valladolid. Now when you know Barcelona is a wounded team, they'll come and try to pass Man City off the park, and there'll be all these whistles whenever Man City have the ball. The Camp Nou will be whistling. That's about 90,000 of them, and there'll be a lot of cheer for Barcelona. This is the Barcelona you can take advantage of. They have not been playing well. They still concede goals. There's so many things that could work for you when you're playing Barcelona this season. But on the other hand, they have a 2-goal cushion. Whatever Man City do, they are starting the game with -2. Yeah. They have to score twice to have the slightest chance.
I honestly think Man City is going to do a phenomenal job. Yeah. I think Yaya Toure is going to be all over that midfield. I personally believe in
And for me, that is one area where they can go and probably compete with Bayern Munich, with Barcelona, because Bayern and Barcelona really compete because of Pep Guardiola.
They're the best in the business.
They are two linked together because of Pep Guardiola. But when you talk about the midfield, I think him and Fernandinho could have a very long night. And it's until they get on top of Busquets, Xavi and Andreas Iniesta that Man City will be competitive. That's one area of the pitch that Barcelona loves to dominate. Right. Now, the moment Yaya Toure can get to dominate a bit of that midfield, then Man City have a chance. The moment they don't get there, they are in big trouble. But also, I also have a feeling that if Sergio Aguero has his game on, that defense can concede at any point. If he's going at Javier Mascherano, of course they don't play together for Argentina, but if he's going at him throughout the evening, there is only one winner in that. I see only Aguero winning. So for me, when I look at the entire game, probably Man City could go to the Camp Nou and win. Rubin Kazan have won there, Liverpool have won there, Inter Milan drew there, Chelsea have gone there and competed on several occasions. The problem is that they may not do enough. They could go there and win by 2-1, Man City.
Right.
But will that be enough to go through? It won't be.
Right. Someone here quickly asked me yesterday's FIFA Super League results.
There wasn't FIFA Super League. I think there was Uganda Cup fixtures. I saw URA put 12 past a team called Hope.
12?
Yeah, 12 goals to nil.
Was that...
Yeah.
Oh, it was netball.
Okay, what the Arsenal is bad now.
And there was also another, and I saw, I think KCC beat up on Sowana by 2-1.
All right.
Yeah, there was several of them there.
That's awesome. Actually, very, very awesome of you to ask us about the local league. I think it's good.
Okay, well, right now there's been a lot of fighting over the past few years, and many people opted out of this until this is sorted, and there's a green light that right now the clubs, FIFA, government and the Uganda Super League are talking. So we're all hopeful that by the time the next season starts in August, we'll all be at peace and the league will be moving smoothly, because it hasn't for the past 2 years. And I hate to say that people refuse to admit when there is a problem, but in Uganda there's actually been a very, very big problem with this.
Well, we'll also be talking Ugandan football in the next couple of weeks. But if you're just joining us, we are live here at the Uganda Golf Club. What an awesome privilege. It's been, stepping on the green with my shoes.
You're not dressed the right way, but probably they could get a shot for my shoe.
Someone zoom in at Josh.
Someone should come in with the right shoe.
Just zoom in into this shoe and...
I don't
So this is a proper golf shoe.
It's closed. I'm thinking this is an amateur in the first few days of golf. Probably when if I turn pro, my friend Dewakope, who is actually Uganda Professional Golf Association captain, would help me get a better shoe than this. But this is as close as you could get.
And I can see you're wearing your polo shirt.
Yeah, the polo. I prefer it to be one color, especially for the golf. I just couldn't find a clean, a clean single color one. Especially that I've seen Tiger Woods, on Sunday. He normally walks out in a red t-shirt or maroon. You go to your TV and look at it.
Right.
You know what he says? It brings him a lot of luck.
All right.
One of the 14 majors have come with him dressing that red polo shirt on Sunday for the final round.
Before we leave you, here's the African proverb. Good morning. All right, United family eats from the same plate.
I was hoping for an African proverb on golf, by the way. Is there any?
Not
an
really.
African game.
Yeah, but a United family eats from the same plate. I guess that really makes sense.
A bit obvious. We're always told about how families should have dinner together, and
Right.
that is one of those things that we're told. I wonder how many families still have dinner at the table.
They're all watching NTV news at 9.
Yeah, everyone is watching news.
And that culture has gone away, kind of gone away. Right.
Yeah, the young girls are WhatsApping at the same time. Someone is on Facebook. You can have a conversation as family over dinner.
Right.
It's going away. That
Well,
culture is fading.
I can see the balls are flying in. I'm kind of not concentrating here. The ladies are doing their thing using I think the other big thing.
The driver.
The driver. Yeah. I will learn those things, by the way. But yeah, just one over there. All right. sandbank ono alabika tamanyi ono tamanyi but we'll catch you tomorrow for yet another exciting edition of Morning at NTV. We've been here at the Uganda Golf Course and chatting, talking golf. Maybe it's time to make a bogey or a bogey. Bye.
NTV, turning on your world.
This season,
This is very good.
a huge bribe
Sentences.
Make
will change attitudes.
Chris, is this why you and Ethan have been meeting? Danger.
Take them off.
You have to tell Gilbert when. Stop this nonsense. I need you to be honest with me and tell me the truth.
Everything.
Where are you going? Sorry, you need to pay first, then I can help you.
They told me that then you would kill him.
Where is your father?
Where everything is not what it seems. Deception.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Men,
The way we talk, the things we eat, what we do, and the people we meet. What can we do about this?
All men are looking for different things. There is a man for every woman that walks the planet.
That's how you end up with people and then start to like them. Because you thought you wanted something else, then you discover other things and they're the ones that you like.
The length of the man and the shortness of the woman could be a factor in play, because if you have a 6x6 bed and the man is taller than the entire bed.
Because you're going to live with this person for the rest of your life, you are allowed to compromise on a few things for a greater win in the end.
Join us this Wednesday at 9:50 p.m. only on Men as we talk about stereotypes.
Men.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.